Hey everybody, welcome back to Pagan's Witchy Corner. My name is Pagan, and I am joined by Kayla. Kayla, how you been? How's life treating you these days?
It's treating me well.
Very nice, very nice. So it's been a minute since we had an episode come out. Life got crazy as one does, and so we are back. It's a new month. It's a whole new lesson, and this month we are talking about something that kind of makes people get a little squirrely on the internet, and that's
Makes me
energetic
get a little
consent.
itchy.
It makes them itchy. Yeah, that's energetic consent, boundaries, and spiritual sovereignty. And why energetic consent is important as just as much as physical consent is. And we have to really kind of talk about why that is a thing. And if you are brand new and this is your first episode with us, A, welcome. And B, you're probably going to be like, what do you mean new lesson? Well, if you go all the way back through January of 2026, you will find all of the lessons that we have started with, and they go with the tempering path that we have written. And you can come into the Discord and participate in that path and learn alongside everybody else who enjoys the path. So if that's your thing, cool. If it's also your first time, welcome. And to everybody who is an OG listener, we're always happy to have you here because you guys are awesome. So, without further ado, so we have talked a lot about what your energy is, how it tunes in with you, what you should do to protect it, and all of that. Well, also, there's this little thing that we all love to call consent. And how does that apply with energetic energy? So, your energy field is not just this abstract concept. It can be mapped through
Yeah.
science. Um
Yeah.
and it's a physical part of your physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual being, but your energy field can be mapped through science. There's tests that can do that. I don't know what those tests are. I'm not a doctor nor a scientist. I am a religious leader. Hello.
Yes.
So, and a podcaster and a
Don't
content
science the
creator.
science.
Yeah, leave the science to the science people. Though I do love science. I just don't know the terminology off the top of my head, so I'm not going to tell you. You want to know that? Go Google it yourself. But the energy is kind of your energetic field's a little bit like the skin outside of your skin. It is part of the whole thing of you're able to detect things from EMF to temperature spikes to all sorts of different things because of that. And yes, that gets down all the way into your nervous system. It gets complicated. Again, it goes back to the science. But in terms of
Kind of
your
like your hair stands up when it's about to rain.
that, yes, or you walk into a building that suddenly feels a little weird and you're like, "Oh, okay." That's your whole energetic field. Your energetic field gets hit before everything else does. And that's why we can feel EMF and radio frequencies and yada, 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 all the other things. That being said, it's kind of your emotional weather nodule. It, picks up mood, sensations, shifts that maybe are around you, and so on. But why is it so important to have consent with it? Is mainly because you don't want somebody going and being like, oh, I see your energy field, let me touch it. That's like somebody walking up to you and be like, I don't know you, and just randomly start like feeling across your skin. That's weird. Don't do that. Consent
Somebody
matters.
walking up to you and going, "Oh, you have nice hair, let me touch it."
Yeah,
No,
or
you don't
like,
do
you
that.
don't do that. Or some random stranger, if you're pregnant, walking up and being like, let me touch your belly. And it's like, no, you weirdo, back off, please. Thank you. That's what it's like, except instead it's with other energy. Not always physical, not always something that can be tangible. It's something that we see, especially if you're a gifted person in terms of energy, you see other people's energy and go, oh, that's a thing. Okay, that's where we start getting into the whole what is consent and why does it matter? So, energy consent is means that no one should be interacting with your field unless you give permission. That means no reading, no healing, no cleansing, no aligning, no poking, no praying. Yes, praying is a part of that. And you have
Mm-hmm.
to give consent to that. So I'm sure on the internet there are lots of people, especially on TikTok, I get them on my feed too, that are like, your energy's off. And it's like, you're not even looking at me. You're looking at your camera recording this. How do you even know? But that's one instance of it. But there's also people that I've had walk up to me and go, your energy is off. You have a very toxic presence about you. Now, for those who know me, know that I give off a very prickly, sharp energy, and I do it on
Mhm.
purpose
Mhm.
because I am a traumatized little being. I've had a lot of trauma in my life. I've had a lot of things that have not always been the greatest things. So, me, I don't particularly well, I don't jive immediately with people. I have to kind of get to know you. I have to see if I can kind of trust you a little bit. And as I've said before, I have trust issues. Y'all know this if you've been listening to the show long enough. Um, I got trust issues. And so I'm not going to give access to somebody who I may not know or not know very well, access to my energy. That's my energy field. I don't want somebody going and poking and prodding in it where they don't belong. And so if you're somebody who maybe looks at me or just immediately can just sense energies without realizing that you're accidentally probably reading somebody and you see me, I may come across as a very hostile and or bitchy or
Prickly.
prickly person. I'm not actually. I am a total weirdo who is bubbly and
Very
actually
warm.
warm and nice. I just don't let people who I don't know have access to that. And that's my own defense mechanism to protect my energy. So if you were to read me and be like, hey, wow, you have a whole lot of dark energy about you. And they're like, let me fix that for you. I've had that happen. And it's like, nope, I do that on purpose. That's on purpose.
I
That
don't
is,
want that
I don't
fixed.
want
Thank
it
you.
fixed. Or somebody will tell me, probably my mother more than anybody, but will be like, "Oh, your energy is so heavy and so, whatever." And it's like, you do a lot of things with like death and all that. And it's like, should I pray for you? You know what? I'm going to pray for you. And I'm like, please, for the love of all things holy, do not pray for me. Do
Do
not make
not
me
pray
return
for me.
return that to sender. No, I don't want it. Thank you. And a lot of people who will, especially strangers, this actually happened yesterday when I was at the doctor's office. Um, being chronically ill, and I'm sure Kayla can attest to this too, you will get random strangers that will be like, God will heal you, or here, let me
Oh,
tell God a prayer for you so that you can be healed. And it's like, chronic, chronic. It doesn't go away. I wish it did, but it doesn't.
it
And
does not work that way.
I've come to live with it, and I'm sure Kayla's kind of in the same boat too, especially if you're chronically ill. You get to a point where you just go, well, this is life. We will
Yeah.
make the best of it with as little spoons as we have been given for that day or month or whatever. And so it's not because you have a darker mindset, it's because you kind of get to that point where it's like there's no point in mourning a disease that is actively trying to ruin my day. Instead, you just kind of get to that point where you're like, it's having a really bad roommate, and you're just like, oh, it's you again. Why?
Yeah.
And you just get to that point where you live with it. And so it's not that you have this horrible mindset about it, but yes, you will get a lot of invasive people from all cultures, all religions that will tell you, let me pray for you, let me send you energy, let me
Mhm.
heal you, let me do whatever. And it's like, no, thank you.
Yeah. I've had people tell me I walk with a cane.
Hmm.
I've had people tell me, "Oh, God's gonna heal you of whatever causes that cane to use you. You use that cane, and God's gonna heal you of it." And I'm like, "That's not how that works." And my wife gets upset about it, and she's actually gotten up. upset to the point of going, "That's not how epilepsy works."
Mhm.
And gone up in people's faces, and I'm like, "Honey, it doesn't work. Just let it go. It's not worth the upset. It's not worth getting them upset. It's not worth it anymore." But because it happens so often, especially
Yeah.
living in the South,
Mhm.
where majority of the people are of one faith or of one group of faiths, it's just so prevalent that people say, "I'll pray for you," or "I will do something for you." It's very hard to not just brush it off,
Mhm.
because it would be every time I go out in public, I would be having that conversation with someone.
And the annoying part is we've had, you know, I guarantee both of us have had, but they mean well, they're trying to help you and it's like, but they're not respecting my sovereignty and autonomy.
They're not. They're not.
And they're bypassing it. And it makes it where
Yeah.
it's something that you should realize that spiritual work, no matter how you do it, it's intimate. That's like going
Mhm.
into somebody else's house and like taking, if you're a Christian, for example, like going into somebody else's house, grabbing their personal Bible and taking all of the bookmarks that they have out, or
Yeah.
taking their Bible and just shaking it upside down till the pages get all fluffed in a bad way.
Kerfluffle.
And or going into, say, a witch's house and rearranging all of their altars without talking to them. That would be
That
exceptionally
would be the
disrespectful.
equivalent.
It would be so disrespectful. And you can't do that to somebody because it's not just about being polite. It's also a foundation of spiritual safety. And I'm sure, again, living in the South, both of us live in the South. So I've had people that will literally pray the moment they meet me and they're like, God bless you, blah, 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 whatever. And because of that, they end up in this whole state where it's like, okay, now I have to open my mouth. Thanks. It's like, no, I don't accept your prayers. I send them back to you. Thank you very much. But no, I didn't ask for that. I don't respect that. And then they get all but hurt
Yeah.
without ever asking if it was okay. Can I pray for you? Can I pray over you? And the cool
And if
thing,
someone does ask for that, and if someone does ask, "Can I pray for you?" and you say no, then they get really upset.
right? They don't
And if you say
understand.
no, thank you, get really upset, and they don't understand. I don't believe what you believe.
Right. And you don't know the
So
intentions behind it either.
right,
In witchcraft, we talk about intention with magical energetic work and what that intention is focusing that energy towards. Prayer's the same thing. It's an intention with words behind it, focused towards a deity, towards a specific goal. That's
right,
exactly what it is. And so when you have those kinds of moments where it's like, if you ask somebody, can I send you healing energy? Can I pray for you? And somebody tells you no, it is exceptionally not okay to get mad about that. Respect the no.
respect
Respect
the
it
no,
all the way across. Just like if somebody came up and touched you without your consent, you'd
respect that
play, please
no.
stop. And they don't stop, then it becomes assault. And then the cops get involved and it's a whole thing. There's no energy police out there that you can call for somebody doing that to you. So you have to understand that having your shields up, your boundaries, and all of those things, and doing your cleansings and everything else that we've learned in previous lessons is really important because those are your energy police. Those are your stopping points of going, no, I don't want that, energy goo on me. Thank you. Take it back. I don't want that.
Yeah,
And you're
I
allowed
grew
to,
up with a lot of African American people, and you do not walk up to an African American person and just start touching their hair.
oh my God, no, that's
Do
so
not do
awful.
that. That is so rude and so awful. And so it would be the equivalent of someone just walking up and going, "Your texture is so neat." and just touching their hair. That is just so rude,
Mhm.
and it would just be like an affront to them.
Yes.
And you don't do that. You just don't do that. You don't do that.
You don't touch people without consent. You don't touch energy without consent. Don't do that. It's a bad thing. Um and respecting somebody's no is a huge thing in terms of autonomy and respecting their autonomy. It's also respecting their sovereignty. And so if that's something that I'm not saying anybody, I'm not accusing anybody, but if that's somebody that you're like, let me send you energy, and somebody tells you no and it makes you kind of cranky, um, that's a you problem.
Check yourself.
Check yourself. And I'm sure there are people out there that will probably be like, but Pagan, that was nope. I'm gonna say the elephant in the room. If you have a problem with it, check yourself because that's a you problem.
Yes.
And I'm not meaning that to, put a bee in anybody's bonnet, but if that's something that does bother you about not being able to help people because someone tells you no, that is a you problem. So, that being said, people are allowed to say no. You're allowed to also say not right now. You are allowed to protect your energy without guilt or explanation. Just like us chronically ill folks are allowed to go, this is my cane, leave it alone, don't ask those questions. You're allowed to have your own opinions about your health, you're allowed to have your own opinions about your energy and how people treat that. But you don't want to go to somebody's TED Talk when they're like, let me fix it for you. And you're like, I don't know if I have the patience to be nice about this. Please don't. Thank you.
Yes.
So, holding your own boundaries is not something that it should be flashy. It's not a big deal. Like, it is a big deal in terms of sovereignty, but it's not a big deal in terms of, like, here's a giant banner of saying why you should be nice to me or why you should respect my boundaries. Boundaries are often quiet. And a lot of people don't think
Yeah.
about that because we talk about boundaries in a big way. But when you actually look at boundaries, they're really kind of quiet. They're not flashy. They're just, here's my line. Please don't cross it. And
Mhm.
if it becomes something where it should have flashiness to it, again, that's probably something that should be examined because true boundaries are not flashy. They are very
No.
much this is my practice, this is what I do, please respect it. If you cannot do that, I'm walking away. And
Yes.
that's okay. Or in my case. And I don't know, like Kayla, I know you present differently too because I know you as a person. I've known you for a long time, so like you present very differently to me, just like I do to you. But your
Yeah.
outside is a little, I don't want to say prickly like mine, but it's prickly in its own fashion, right?
My outside, if people meet me, it's very hard or it's very bubbly, depending on the situation. Um, I'm either very hard and very stoic, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they would meet me and say, "Oh, that's a hard person. Oh, that's a stiff person." They've got very hard energy, very very rough energy. Or they would meet me and say, "Oh, their energy is just bubbly and all over the place." Bubbly
Mm-hmm.
in a happy manner,
Yeah.
bubbly in a very energetic kind of way, depending on the situation.
Right. And you know,
And when you meet me internally, I'm neither of those.
you're calm and friendly and nice and you know warm and accepting, and I mean I'm very warm and accepting too in a lot of ways, but like I have to know if you're safe enough to let that side be seen. And if
Yeah.
I don't know you well enough, no, it will come across as very um sharp in a lot of ways. And that's not
Yeah.
because I'm deliberately trying to be a bitch. I'm not. It's more of I just don't know if whoever I'm interacting with is safe enough to interact with. And
Yeah, I don't know if my inner gushy parts are okay to be seen by you
right.
or whoever.
Yeah. And those energetic boundaries are much as like something that you just don't say, like we were talking about before, where we would say, hey, don't, pray over somebody, don't do this, don't do this without consent. That's a boundary. But also giving off a specific energy is also a boundary. That is your own personal way of saying, I am kind of like a cactus. I have sharp spines. Please don't touch me without consent. um,
Yeah.
but that's a boundary, and it's not really big, it's not really loud. And then you could also have that whole devil's advocate argument of going, okay, but if you're seeing that and I haven't really given you that permission, and again, having people come up to you and go, your energy is really toxic, like, are you okay? And it's like, first of all, no. Second of all, no. Thirdly, no. Leave me alone. And I've had a lot of people do that. But it's also the biggest thing too is energetic boundaries are not about being isolated. It's not about
No.
something that saying, um, I don't want anybody to touch me. It's wanting to know where you and the world begins. And also it keeps you from absorbing other people's energy. Now you still
Yeah.
do to a point, but as long as you're shielding and grounding and all that other stuff, right? You don't absorb as much. And it also keeps your energy from really rubbing off on somebody else and interacting with them in such a way that makes it difficult for their day. So if you have, like in my case where I put up this whole, it's part of my shield actually, where I put up this energy that's a little bit sharp and a little bit prickly, it doesn't rub off on other people very easily. It doesn't interact with other energies super easily unless I allow it. And that's partially because I like my energy to stay mine and I only like to interact with the people that I know. Um I guess you could go all the way back to the childhood stranger danger if you really wanted to. But it's kind of that's how it is for me. So it's not so much when you're holding your field close like Kayla and I do. You're not doing it in a way to like prevent energy interaction. You're doing it so you don't bleed energy. And the funniest parts about that too, when you get really comfortable with your own energy and you learn how to guard it and protect it and shield it the way you want to, so your energy stays yours and all of that, you kind of become this temple unto yourself, quiet,
Mhm.
strong, inviting only what's welcome. And you
Right.
also get to a point where you stop chasing validation.
Yeah.
And it's not so much that we don't like to be validated, we all do, but when your energy is not protected, a lot of times that can come across as look at me, look at me, look at me. And you get the peacock syndrome where you're, showing all the pretty colors and all the pretty things and doing all the things because you get to a point where there is that need for somebody to be like, oh, you look like a really fun person. Let me go ahead and interact with you. Great. That's awesome. But also at this very same time, that person who may be interacting with you in that way may actually be somebody who's interacting with you because they want to feed off of you, so to speak.
Mhm.
They want to interact with you because your energy is bright and shiny and they think that you're vulnerable. You may not actually be vulnerable, but they may think it that and they may try to do that in a malicious way. Now, before anybody comes for me in the comments, Not every human being does this. These are very rare instances. These are very small things. And it is bleeds back into psychology. So, again, witchcraft is spicy psychology. We're talking about that. But this is also part where energetic work bleeds into psychology. So, that's a part of it. I am not saying that there's a bunch of predators out there that are trying to eat you. Don't take that context, please.
Uh,
So, um, now the cool thing about having sovereignty, though, is your energy is yours. It's your kingdom. It's your stuff. You get to do what you want to do with it. Your breath, your altar, your screen, your bedroom, your spell work, every part of that that lives within your energy field, everything that you interact with. You don't owe access to anybody. Not a person, not online, not in a circle, not in a ritual. I mean, in a ritual, it makes it a little hard if not everybody's participating. But again, if it's a public ritual and you don't know anybody, by all means, you can just be like, you get this much energy and no more. That's it.
mhm.
And that's perfectly acceptable. In fact, that's encouraged. um, you
Yeah.
don't have to be somebody who's open to be a good witch. You don't have to feel everything. You don't have to absorb everything. Because the moment you start doing that, then you get to the point where you're absorbing so much, especially in today's world where we have so much crazy shit that's happening on the daily basis. It will make you overstimulated. It will make you drained. It will make you feel like you have no start or end because there's so many things that are interacting with your field all the time. Part
And
of
it
the
will overwhelm you.
yes. And, not harping too much on older lessons, but again, they all are important to each other. The moment you start shielding, warding, grounding, cleansing, and taking care of your spiritual energy, you're doing your spiritual hygiene, and you stop giving access to the world, and you start giving access to the people and places and energies and beings that you want to interact with. That's when you stop taking in all the noise of everything else that's happening, and it gets to a point where you don't get as overwhelmed. Living in today's world is just overwhelming, whether or not you are an energy worker of any kind at all or just an energetic being. It's just overwhelming, but it's less. And you start realizing, okay, this feeds my soul, this doesn't. This takes care of me, this doesn't. This is something that I enjoy giving back to people, but this is not something I enjoy taking in. These are the types of people that I trust and that I want in my space and in my circle. And
Mhm.
when you start doing that, man, it really makes it to where everything feels like it just falls into place like a perfect picture. And it's beautiful.
Mhm.
Consent is beautiful. Consent is sexy. We love consent. Always. So, that being said, I think if you're somebody who's like, I've never practiced energetic consent, now's a good time. It's
Now's a good
never
time.
too late to say, hey, mine is mine, yours is yours. Let's not interact them unless we choose to.
Spaghetti arms. This is my space. This is your space. Let's
this
tango.
this is my bubble, that is your bubble. Let's not meet bubbles, okay? Thank you. It does come back to the whole like childish things of like nursery rhymes and like everybody one arm apart kind of thing. Yeah. um
Mhm.
and that makes it to where you get a lot of understanding also of who you are as a person. And the cool thing is when you really start doing this and start this practice, you also get to see how much of your energy you're just giving away. And when you stop doing that and start going, okay, all of my energy is mine, let me see where I'm actually consciously giving it away and where am I subconsciously giving it away. When you stop doing that subconscious one, holy Toledo Batman, let me tell you how much energy, like physical energy, you will get back.
Yeah.
You will not be so mentally exhausted. You will not be so physically exhausted. You will not have all of these moments where you feel like you have to fix everything or look into something or be involved in something. And the really interesting thing too is also when you start checking your energetic boundaries, eventually your physical boundaries also fall into place because you start recognizing your own sovereignty, your own worth, and going, my energy is not owed to anybody, but also my physicality is not owed to everybody either.
Yes.
And that's a huge, amazing thing when that happens. Now, of course, you still have to go to work, you still have to do your job, you still have to do all the, mundane things, but you also get to that point where you're like, I don't have to be a doormat. I don't have to be walked all over. I don't have to be treated like I don't matter because you do.
Mhm.
And that's really important.
It is. It is.
And that's my 2 cents.
You're allowed
Kayla, do you have any more 2 cents to share with class?
you're allowed to be you. Whatever you are, you're allowed to be you.
Yes,
You down in the deepest depths of you, you're allowed to be you.
absolutely. So, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining us today. If you'd like to know more about this, now a bunch of our practices, I don't want to say all of them, but a bunch of our practices, our lessons have practices with them, meditations, journaling, ritual activities, and so on. If you would like access to those, you have to come join the Discord and actually follow the tempering path, and you'll get there and you'll be able to do all the things. And it's awesome. And then join us next week because we're going to be going through a few of the reflection questions, giving you our answers, and also telling you why those questions were important to us for us to choose them. And then it'll be good. I don't know what we'll be doing for the rest of the month after that because life is really crazy. And I mean, I've already told you how crazy my stuff is right now. So we're playing it by ear. We're seeing where we go and where we end up, but you will have at least 2 episodes a month that are covering the lessons, maybe more, but we'll cover it after that and we'll let you know. So stay tuned. It'll be awesome. Again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for being subscribers to the show. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dog, maybe your dog, I don't know. But or your lizard.
My dogs like listening.
My lizard gets all interested in drama and stuff, so we talk about some drama around here, so maybe, lizards. But be kind to yourselves in this really crazy world. It is super crazy. It is super chaotic, and make sure you're taking care of yourselves, practicing your energetic hygiene, but also make sure you're taking care of the physical body too, because the meat suit also needs physicality stuff taking care of it. So be good to that, be kind to that, and be kind to other people because you don't know what's going on with everybody. Everybody's in the same boat together, unfortunately. We're all in the same crazy boat. So
We are.
be careful, be kind, and all that good stuff. And we will see you next time for another episode. Bye bye, everybody.